The product review we've all been waiting for. It's finally here. Hungry Man Selects. This is big. Now today, of course, we're going with the classic fried chicken edition. This is one of the favorites among the Hungry Man community. The back, of course, is going to showcase the Hungry Man slogan, satisfy your cravings, and there's nothing I'm craving more than a good frozen TV dinner. This edition of the product does come with 39 grams of protein, which is alright. You know, at least you're getting some sort of nutritional value from this meal. The Hungry Man Selects classic fried chicken is going to come in at £1, and that's quite a bit of food, but I'm a hungry man. The total meal here is going to come in at 950 calories, which is going to make me feel like a bit of a fat ass, but I can always run that off. It's not too bad. This meal is also going to have 1,840 milligrams of sodium. It's only 80% of your daily value, just watch it. This succulent treat is going to contain the tender white and dark chicken portions with home-style mashed potatoes and sweet corn. And it includes a chocolate brownie, which I'm most excited for. Well, without further ado, let's open her up. Alright, so we're getting a poor tear on the package. I'm going to have to dock a couple points for that. I'm having to manually squeeze my finger in here. Serious risk for a paper cut there. Ooh, and here we are. Wow, would you look at that? Okay. So at first glance, I'm not incredibly impressed. We have a very uneven kind of plastic sheet on this. There seems to be some stretching and pulling in certain areas. Then around the chicken, it's quite loose. The inconsistency here is a little bit jarring. And flipping it over to the back here, we are going to see a bit of a dent. That's going to be in our mashed potato containment unit. Now seeing a dent in the mashed potato containment unit is going to immediately put a damper on things for me. I don't like dents in my mashed potato containment units, and unfortunately this is just going to be something I'm going to have to deal with this time. Now looking at it a bit closer here, the corn's looking pretty standard. The brownie is kind of just looking like a unrecognizable brown mass. Same thing with the mashed potatoes. It could be a number of things. The fried chicken here kind of looks like my grandma's flip-flop. I'm not really too convinced that it's going to be a tasty treat for me. It just looks a little bit sad, but I'm willing to give it a shot. We do have 1, 2, and yes, 3 chickens. That's a pretty big deal. That's a lot of food for me. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it does. Unfortunately, we didn't get any freebies inside the box. I was kind of hoping for some stickers or maybe a poster for my wall in my bedroom. So without further ado, it's time to actually cook this baby. Now we have instructions for both the conventional oven and the microwave oven on the back here. I'm not a freak, so I'm gonna use the conventional oven. So we're gonna be preheating this baby up to 350 degrees. While we wait for the oven to heat up, the package instructs us to do a little maiming. Goodbye. And we're gonna have to let that cook for 45 to 50 minutes.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Joseph Matthews, and in this little tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to be funny.
Our Hungry Man Selects classic fried chicken dinner is ready, and I can't even explain to you how excited I am. We're pretty fresh out of the oven here. Let's get some first impressions going. First and foremost, nothing says a good dinner quite like hot plastic over your food. The brownie here, as you can see, is trying to escape its plastic prison. You know, it probably tastes good if the food's trying to escape the plate. There are still 1, 2, and 3 chickens in the container here. The mashed potatoes seem to be a little bit deflated, if you will. Corn still looks like corn. Not much else to report. I think we're gonna go ahead and take the plastic off. Wow. I'm pleasantly surprised by this, and also slightly appalled at the same time. Now the chicken actually looks pretty decent. Corn. Brownie. The mashed potatoes here kind of look like alien flesh. You know when a fish dies and washes up on shore and kind of gets that sickly white look to it and starts to decompose? That's kind of what the mashed potatoes give off a little bit. I'm excited to eat it. And I'm noticing on the chicken, all three of them, they look quite crispy, but on tactile inspection, you're gonna get some mush here. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of mushy breading on chicken. It could be user error. Maybe I didn't pierce the plastic enough. Maybe I didn't take the plastic off fast enough. We're gonna start off safe here. I got my trusty fork. We're gonna go straight in for the corn here. That is really good corn, actually. I'm shocked. In terms of frozen corn, this is actually pretty good. I give the corn a pretty good rating. We're gonna skip over the brownie for now. That's dessert. And we're gonna go for the alien-looking, kind of saddest thing I've ever seen in my life, mashed potatoes next. So digging my fork into this, I'm immediately getting like Elmer's glue. It's really just kind of like weirdly translucent, pretty sickly looking potatoes. So the Elmer's glue definitely transfers into mouthfeel as well as looks. Also kind of tastes like Elmer's glue. It is one of the blandest things I've ever eaten. It feels disgusting in my mouth. It tastes like instant mashed potatoes that were made with used bath water. You know, it kind of tastes vaguely of potatoes, but perhaps the potato you found underneath your fridge against the wall, and you had to get some sort of a stick, perhaps like a ruler or something, and you had to, you know, sleeve up full arm underneath with the ruler extension to kind of scrape it back towards you so you could get it, you know? That's kind of the taste I'm getting. It's really awful. Overall, some of the worst mashed potatoes I've ever had. It's like weirdly gelatinous, and the taste is just nothing. Not good. After that lovely experience, we're gonna move on to the chicken. So to make sure we're doing a nice, thorough review here, we're gonna try all three pieces. I think here we're gonna forego the fork. It is called Hungry Man after all, and real men don't use silverware. The bottom is extremely soggy. It looks quite disgusting, actually. All of the breading is mush. In fact, it'll just peel right off into kind of like a gloop. What is that? All right, here comes the bite. On one hand, the chicken itself actually tastes pretty good, but this glutinous mass that used to be some sort of a crust upon the chicken, it just gives horrible mouthfeel. Yeah, the chicken itself tastes good. You know, it's a little bit bland, but tastes like classic fried chicken. Yeah, the breading kind of reminds me of the wood filler you would use to fill a crack or a hole in your favorite plank. That's not respectable. Yeah, I mean, this one is completely dry and quite frankly tasteless. Not too happy about that one. The chicken here in the Hungry Man Selects Classic Fried Chicken Dinner is reminiscent of when your little niece or nephew pulls out a chicken leg from their playhouse kitchen and it's just plastic, but you try to gnaw on it anyway to appease them. Honestly, the plastic chicken leg in that scenario probably has more moisture than a couple of the pieces here. And last but not least, we have the good old brownie here. I'm hoping that this is gonna be good. I mean, how do you mess up a brownie? I'm sure they can find a way. I'm just going ahead and prying a chunk of this brownie out of its containment unit. That is really pleasantly surprising. The flavor itself is pretty solid. You know, I've had better brownies, but it's pretty good. Nice and chocolatey, but not overwhelming. It's a touch dry, but overall it's a pretty solid brownie, and I can overlook the shortcomings because it tastes good. And that's all we have to review at the Hungry Man Selects Classic Fried Chicken Dinner. I think I'm gonna have to give this meal a 3 out of 10. The positives were there, just in much smaller number than the negatives. The corn was good, but it's also super hard to mess up corn. The brownie was pretty solid. It was a good effort. The mashed potatoes are an actual nightmare. And as for the chicken, it's just so dry and mushy. It's just a really awful experience. The flavor of the chicken is not bad, but overall it's pretty abysmal. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed yourself this far in, leave a like, subscribe. You can probably tell we're a brand new channel here. Any sort of engagement like that helps me a ton, and it lets me know that you guys want to see more of similar content. That being said, go check out my other videos on my channel, and we'll see you in the next one.